Okay, so I wanted to describe a new tool that I have come upon. I don't know if it's something that already exists in other people's worlds or in other practices. I don't know if it's something that I have conceived of for the first time in humanity. That all is irrelevant, I guess. But I was talking to a client who was describing difficulty in expressing feelings with their partner and co-processing with their partner verbally because this person just had a miscarriage and has figured out how to talk about it with everyone except their partner. And that's like the one person they probably need the most support from. So, as an alternative to talking about it, I suggested that they just agree to intentionally think about this painful thing together in silence. Just like sitting together and deliberately thinking about the thing and having the feelings about it and knowing that the other person is thinking about it too and not saying anything and just letting whatever emotions come up happen. I'm thinking of this as silent mutual co-processing or silent co-processing, I guess. Because the emotions just have to happen. And when a subject that has a lot of emotional charge for you is like pressing to be talked about and like wants exposure and wants to be felt, when those emotions around that subject come up and you want to talk about it, but talking about it doesn't feel safe, the emotions get repressed, even though all they want is to be felt. We put so much focus on talking about things like therapy is the first thing that everyone recommends for anyone who's struggling with any kind of emotional issue. And I've done therapy and it's been like useful and helpful and introspective and informative, and has its end at a certain point, you know? Like, you can only talk so much about something before you just talk yourself in circles. Like, at a certain point, you have to try another approach. Otherwise, you end up looking at something from the same side the whole time you're working with it, despite its many dynamic elements. Kat, please. So, silent co-processing offers people the basic human experience that they're really craving, which is to be witnessed, and then to be accepted, and the conjunction of those things. Silent co-processing is the visceral physical experience of being in the presence of another person, ideally someone you have a standing relationship with or commitments with or spend lots of time around. But you sit in their presence and are witnessed by them while you witness them as well. And that being seen equates in the body to being heard, because the persistence of the presence of this person who is accepting you is what your system needs in order to feel safe. Like, you have to be able to have all of your feelings in front of another person and have the experience of being accepted throughout the duration of those feelings being had. Like, there has to be a visceral physical experience that demonstrates to your system that it's safe for you to have your emotions. And the person being in front of you that you love, that loves you, while you're having those emotions, is the only way that your system can comprehend that this is a safe thing for you. Because it feels like death. Whatever it is, it feels like a threat. The negative emotions that come up, whatever it is that you're going through, those emotions happen, and that bad feeling, that pain, is something that our nervous system and our unconscious instinctively moves away from. And so we avoid feeling negative things, and we avoid anything that makes us feel less safe. And being rejected is far worse than being unhappy. So we prioritize maintaining our relationships, and we shut down our emotions, and we don't let ourselves feel things, and we don't let ourselves talk about things that might get us into isolation, that might cause people to walk away. But that is so counterproductive, because in that we are shutting ourselves off from the actual authentic connection that will enable us to process the emotions that we're having, and therefore carry on flowing through and living a human life, rather than carrying around the burden of all of the emotions you never let yourself feel. So I feel like it's important to record this note that I'm making, that shared silence can be so crucial to healing and to like the development and the unfolding of yourself and the uncovering of yourself, because it's something that I have never tried and very much want to, and it feels like a profound thing that just came out of me in a channeling to another person. So I look forward to trying that myself, especially if there is an opportunity or a necessity for that. But I feel like it primarily applies to situations of trauma. Like, for example, this person I was talking to had a miscarriage, and like those feelings are so intense that this person is fully aware that they don't let themselves feel those emotions, and they set them aside, especially when they're faced with the big emotions of another person. But in conversation, it always touches the pain point of that thing, and because it hurts, they move away, and that distance inflames the pain because it creates a sense of isolation, even though each person is contributing to it in an effort of self-preservation. So the talking about it is triggering. That has become unhelpful. So just take that away, and what you're left with is pure presence. And that is indisputable to the system, to be able to perceive a person, witnessing them and staying. That's the important thing, is just presence. That's new for me, in a way. Being able to say it that way, being able to put it in that context is new. I knew already that presence is important because that's the whole idea of like life, but this particular tool of mutual silent co-processing feels like useful information to have on record, so that I can refer to it in the future and share. If you're watching this, thank you very much for your time. I love you. I'm grateful you are here with me for this. And take a second to consider whether the conversation you're having about something painful is unhelpful. Take a second to ponder what it would be like to get to just have your feelings and not have to explain yourself. And give that to yourself if you can. I'll see you next time.